What is going on, guys? I am very excited to get out and ride. It's decent outside. I was doing some DoorDash. I got to figure out how I can DoorDash on the bike. But today's video, we're going to talk about fears and highways. I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to do a cutscene, from here to when I'm actually on the highway. Just because if I don't do that, it's going to be way too long, and I don't want the videos to be way too long. Let me know what you think about that. And if I don't hear from you, I'm assuming that it's okay, which it probably will be okay anyways, or will have to be okay. I don't know. Oh my goodness, almost fell. I need to get some gasoline first. Are we up? We're up. Are we in first? We're in first. Let's stop and make sure we're good to go. We're good to go. Hello, friends. You're home. Oh, feels good to be back on a bike. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm supposed to do a time jump. All right, guys. I'll see ya. What is going on, guys? We are back at the highway issue thingy that we're gonna do. And I think before I really get into this, I kind of want to talk about fear and just being uncomfortable. As far as riding on the highway or riding motorcycles in general, you have to really drill it in your head that this is a single person sport. You are the only person who's really going to pay for you doing things that you're not ready to do, whether there's certain speeds or certain riding conditions or whatever. You're the only one who's going to pay for that. So what I'm saying that is, don't let anybody pressure you into doing something that you necessarily don't want to do. Your buddy might be riding for 3 years or even a couple months. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I have almost 2,000 miles on this bike, and I feel like a totally different rider than when I first stepped on this bike. So knowing how I feel now, if I were to be like, oh, it's not that bad, you can hit that lean in the 50. Yeah, you can, but if you're not ready for it and you're not, mentally prepared for it, you're going to have a bad time. You know what I mean? So, I don't think that being uncomfortable is a bad thing, though. If you're downright scared, pump the brakes, figure out what you're actually scared of. You know what I mean? As far as, being uncomfortable, I think that being uncomfortable is a good thing. I think it puts you in positions where you really grow as a person. I kind of did that with school. I kind of did that with scuba and all the other random stuff that I like to do. You know what I mean? So kind of have that in the back of your mind too. Like, what are you scared of? Are you scared of the speed? Are you scared of the other person? Are you scared of death wobbles? There's a bunch of different things that could happen for sure. I get that. You know what I mean? But there's obviously things you can do to mitigate that. One of the things whenever I started riding, just driving, and my dad took me, anytime there was a car come towards me, I would scoot so far over, I would be over the other white line. And my dad told me, listen, they don't want to hit you just as much as you want to hit them. And that relieved a lot of anxiety for me. So, kind of take that as well. If you're kind of, nervous about other people, remember, they generally don't want to hit you. It just happens, and it's really unfortunate whenever it does happen. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's before I got into this. That's why I really wanted to just say that, it's a single person sport. You do what you need to do whenever you're ready to do it. You know what I mean? So don't let anybody pressure you into doing something that you're not entirely ready for, because you're just going to have a bad time. Who's that? That guy there. That is loud. That is crazy. That is so loud. Anyways, all right. So let's start getting into this. All right. Before we get on the road, let's do some stretches. All right. We're gonna turn. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm taking my hand and I'm putting it on the back seat and I'm turning. I'm doing that both ways. Why am I doing that? Because on the highway, we're going to be doing something called lifesavers. That's whenever you check your mirror, but then you also turn and physically check behind you to make sure nothing is in your blind spot, especially in a situation where there's lots of cars and people are coming up on you fast. It's not a bad thing to do. And I got to watch out for this dip because I know that there's a drop off here. Now I don't want to talk too much about like lane position. I mean, I'm going to, but I did another video about how to mitigate risk, and I think it was the second one, and I go in a lot more detail with that. You know, obviously you want to set yourself up for safety. You know, right over here, if the guy behind me is not going to stop, I can go right there. I'm flashing my brake. I'm making sure he's stopped behind me. I left enough room from me to the guy in front of me. You know, as far as like riding on the highway, I enjoy it. I think it's fun because it's kind of technical riding. I mean, I think technical riding is more like turns and stuff like that, but you're constantly thinking, you're constantly adjusting, and it's just such a dynamic environment, right? So everything's changing really quickly while you are going rather quickly. And I think that is pretty freaking spiffy. Pretty freaking spiffy, yeah. So, you know, this is Route 30. It's a pretty busy road right now. It's what is it, 3:21? So it's not quite rush hour yet, but it's getting busy. And yeah, you know, I'm trying to think about how I want to construct this video, because I mean, honestly, there's nothing I can really say to get you over fears. You know, I think the first thing you got to do is really figure out what you're scared of. Like I said back there, I mean, are you scared of going fast? If you're scared of going fast, here's an interesting thing. Whenever I'm on these roads or the interstate, it doesn't feel that quick, even though I'm going a lot faster. And the reason for that is your surroundings, right? If you're on a narrow road, things are closer to you, so trees are whipping by faster, so you get that sensation of speed. I'm looking at that mixing truck up there. What's that, like a cement truck? Yeah, I see the van behind him, but I'm looking out there. I'm looking at that sign out there. I'm not looking right here. If you're looking right here, oh, look how fast we're going. If you're looking out there, you're not really, doesn't really feel like you're going that fast. And, you know, you're not staring at your speedometer anyways. You're looking at the road. You're not looking at your speed. Yeah, you glance down every once in a while, but, you know, that's about it. You know, are you scared of other vehicles? Just be aware of other vehicles and set up an escape route as you're driving. You know, I'm leaving enough room from the van in front of me to me. I'm checking my mirrors. I see that there's a silver, I don't know, F-150, F-250 with a tonneau cover. Hey, it was an F-150 with a tonneau cover. You know what I mean? You're completely aware. You're paying attention to what you're doing. You know what I mean? You're setting up an escape route while you're riding. You know, let's say I don't really want to get closer to him, but let's say I was a lot closer to him. I don't want to be right here. I want to be over here. And it's okay to be over here because there's a lot more room from right here to where that truck just passed me. There's probably, I don't know, 5 to 6 feet, if not more than that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of room there. So I know it kind of gets you a little weird. You're going, you know, higher speeds and you're, you know, in this inside lane, but you have more room than you think, okay? Just keep that in mind. You know what I mean? And sure, you know, there's other things you're going to be aware of. This situation right here, you know, what if he didn't see me? What if he pulled out? Well, I shouldn't have been here. I should have been over here. So if he did pull out and there wasn't anybody behind me, I could go there, or I could just stay in my lane. You know what I mean? let's see, I'm trying to think of other things that, you know, oh, death wobbles is a big one, you know. And death wobbles, if you don't know, is whenever your tire's always kind of micro moving. You know, it's always kind of micro moving, and it's finding the best lane of travel. You know, sometimes if you see those little reflectors in between the dashed lines, those are a pretty good way to start a death wobble, actually, because what it does, it creates an not equilibrium, and not unequilibrium, that's not a word. It creates an imbalance, and in that imbalance your bike is wobbling, trying to figure out what to do. So, you know, the best way to, you know, prevent that from happening is loosen your grip. You should always be loose whenever you're riding a bike. You know, Moto Jiu-Jitsu always says, playing a piano, right? You're playing a piano, loosey-goosey. You know what I mean? Loosey-goosey. You're not white-knuckling. Oh my goodness, you're not white-knuckling. You're loosey-goosey, man. You're chilling. Bro, you're chilling. You're on a bike. It's a great time. I'm gonna, you know, anybody behind me? I don't know. No, nobody behind me. We're chilling, dude. You know, and if you are unfortunate enough to have a death wobble happen to you, the best advice that I've seen online is to slowly let off the acceleration, because look, you're so limited on what you can do. You can't chop off the throttle because that takes weight off the back tire. You can't slam on your front brakes because that puts weight on your front tire. You can't downshift because that puts weight on your front tire. You can't hit your rear brake because that puts weight on your back tire and lightens the load of the front tire. So everything that I see, the best thing you do is just lightly let off the throttle, and then eventually kind of let go of the handlebars, which I don't know what I would do in that situation. I really don't want to experience that, but you know, so don't take that as like proper advice, you know what I mean? I don't know, I don't have the riding experience to tell you what to do with that. Just do a bunch of research on that if that's something that you're kind of scared of, you know what I mean? And I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump off here, and the next clip that you see, we're going to go ahead and we're going to be on the interstate, because the interstate's a little bit different, okay? So I will see you guys here in a half a second. I lied, I'm not going on the interstate. This stretch of 30 is pretty much like the interstate, because the speed limit is 55 and average traffic flow is like 70. So you know, I guess all I really wanted to say about the interstate anyway is, you know, again, as far as like a sense of speed thing goes, your sense of speed is it doesn't feel as fast because, again, of how open everything is. You know what I mean? The only real indication with how fast you're going is the wind coming towards you. You know what I mean? No helmet, no nothing, that guy, whatever. Is the wind coming towards you? You know what I mean? That's why a lot of times, ooh, hit that bump, you know, I'll even tuck down in. Get over here. I'll tuck down in whenever I'm on the interstate. And I'll be honest, I don't go on the interstate all that much. And the reason for that is, you know, kind of anticlimactic. You know, you might be thinking, hey, the interstate, it's the fastest, it's the most, you know, the most aggressive. It is boring. I'll say that again. It's boring. You're not shifting. It's generally straight. The roads are nice for the most part, but you're just this or this for a long time. Sure, you have traffic every once in a while, you know what I mean, but it's nothing crazy. You know, the interstate's kind of boring, dude. There's not much going on. again, it's relatively straight. Yeah, you're going fast. No, excuse me. But that's about it. And honestly, even going all that fast isn't all that fun. You know what I mean? Because you got all that wind up against you. And, you know, also because it's a lot more open, you get a lot more crosswind too. So, you know, you have that going for you. It's, yeah, it's generally kind of uncomfortable. It's loud. You know, the noise inside your helmet is pretty loud. I don't know if that's just my helmet or, you know, general motorcycle helmets, and, you know, all of them do that. I got a really good helmet, so I don't really think that's necessarily just a helmet thing. I don't wear earplugs. I mean, I like to hear what's going on, and it's an Ninja 650. It's not a stupid, loud, you know, motorcycle. It's relatively quiet for the most part, but, you know, the wind is loud when you're on the interstates. And honestly, that's about it. You know, I don't want to take up too much of your time, and I really hope that I was able to, you know, give a little bit of advice. You know, again, the best thing I can say, if you're scared or whatever, I mean, that, again, there's a difference between being scared and being nervous. You know what I mean? If you're nervous or uncomfortable, I think you should still do it. I mean, as long as you have the skills that you've learned, you know, you progress through the ranks, so to speak. You know, one thing I want to say, and I'm glad that I thought of this, and the parking lot drills made me think of this. The one thing that you really want to make sure that you can do very well is takeoff. Make sure that your takeoff game is on point, because whenever you're on these interstates and stuff and you gotta go quick fast. You know what I mean? So just make sure that your takeoff game is on point. You know what I mean? And that's really it. You know, I don't think you know, interstates, highways, that wasn't that bad for me. Then again, you know, I'm kind of retarded, so no, I'm just kidding. I think the reason why it never bothered me, even though I'm a brand new rider, is make an executive decision. What's he got? A fucking boat motor in the back of his car. I think I forgot what I was going to say. Son of a gun, son of a biscuit. I forgot what I was going to say. I don't know. It's not all that bad. Oh, the reason why I think that it never really bothered me to a lifesaver is because of all the research that I did. Just like all the research you're doing, because you are a smart, beautiful, intelligent rider. That's a nice Audi. And yeah, I think that's a big reason why I never really had an issue with like interstates or highways or going quick, because I have such a trust in the physics, I guess. You know what I mean? The faster you go, and this might help you with interstates, if, you know, interstates is bothering you and you're kind of worried about, you know, interstate speeds and stuff. The faster you go on a motorcycle, the more stable that motorcycle is. Now, I'm not telling you, hey, Ninja said go fast as fuck. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, you know, the faster you're going, the more stable your motorcycle is. And you know that because whenever you're going faster, you have to push and lean harder in a turn, right? You already know that. So, you know, if you're worried about your bike falling over or whatever when you're on the interstate, you know, you have all your gear on anyways, right? I know you do. Oh, I know you do. So you don't got to worry about that. And the faster you go, the more stable your bike is. You know, so I guess the biggest thing is try not to get inside your own head. I hope this video is not too long. Don't get inside your own head. You know, I do it all the time, so it's easy to do. You know what I mean? But you know, you are your own worst enemy. You are the only person that will prevent you from really accomplishing your dream. Sure, there might be monetary things and other things like that, but, you know, don't overcomplicate things. Some of the biggest things that I thought were going to give me issues did not give me a single issue. Stuff like starting and stopping on hills, having a car behind you while starting and stopping is never once an issue. I don't think I've ever stalled with a guy behind me. And even if you do, it's okay. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I guess that's all I really wanted to say about this. Just don't get inside your head too much. You know what I mean? You're okay. Just, practice. It's a single person sport. You do what you need to do when you are ready. Don't let anybody tell you what you should and should not do as far as motorcycling goes, because again, it's a single person sport. You're the only person who's going to pay for your actions. You know what I mean? So just chill. Remember to stay loosey-goosey. Check for blind spots. Set yourself up for success every single time. You know what I mean? Whenever you're riding, make sure that your escape route is on point. Whether you're coming up to a stop or you're in moving traffic, always have an escape route planned out, and maybe even have a second escape line planned out, just in case. I was going to name my son, if I ever had a kid, his name was going to be Justin, and his middle name would be Case. Just in case. I think it's hilarious. I think I'm hilarious. Hey, it's green. Alright guys, well, this video is probably already entirely too long, so I'm sorry. Thank you guys for watching, and if you found this video first, go check out my mitigate risk videos. They're all from the perspective of a new rider, so it's as honest advice as I can give you. You know what I mean? And that video really goes into more detail about certain things, recognizing patterns and all that stuff. So as soon as I can straighten this motorcycle out, I'm gonna let you guys go. Safety first. Alright guys, I will talk to you. Hey, there's a motorcycle friend. Will they be my friend? Probably not. Alright guys.